Fear Not, Episode 48. Hi, I'm Billy Atwell, and I believe that consistently facing your fears is the only way to realize your truest self and to make those confident choices that will help you to obtain your deepest held hopes and dreams. I have faith that this podcast series will show you that you are not alone, that it will strengthen you and give you courage to face your fears, and that it will help you to permanently cross over into a life of living beyond your fears. Join me on this journey as we listen and learn from others as they share their experiences in facing and overcoming their own fears. Hello, everybody. Today, you and I are going to be joined by Robert Waggoner. Welcome, Robert. How are you today?
Oh, I'm great, Billy. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Are you ready to fear not today?
Let's go for it.
Robert is the author of the acclaimed book Lucid Dreaming, Gateway to the Inner Self, which is now in its 10th printing. He is also the co-author with Carolyn McCready for a book for beginners called Lucid Dreaming Plain and Simple. Using a simple technique in 1975, Robert taught himself how to become lucidly aware in dreams. Now he gives workshops and presentations around the world on lucid dreaming and online workshops at www.glidewing.com. Robert is also the past president of the International Association for the Study of Dreams and knows that lucid dreaming can help us face our fears and resolve them with awareness, understanding, and compassion. Robert, can you take a few seconds just to sort of fill in the gaps and maybe give us a brief glimpse of your personal life as well?
Yeah, so I'm a person who taught myself how to lucid dream, that is, become consciously aware of dreaming while in the dream state. I taught myself how to do this when I was a junior in high school, which was all the way back in 1975. I went on later to get a degree in psychology from Drake University. Then I went to work for a business for about 26 or 27 years. And all that time I've been a lucid dreamer. And so I decided to write a book on lucid dreaming, and it's just been a wonderful thing. I hear from people all around the world, and the books are getting translated into various languages. So it's been an incredible journey, and the journey still continues.
Would you mind explaining to us, a little bit about what lucid dreaming actually is?
Yeah, so lucid dreaming means that you realize within the dream that you're dreaming. For example, let's say you're having a dream and suddenly you see a Tyrannosaurus Rex walking along, and it occurs to you that all dinosaurs are extinct. And then suddenly you think, oh, wait a second, this is a dream. I'm dreaming this. And so at that moment, when you know that you're dreaming, then you're technically lucid dreaming. You realize within the dream that you're dreaming. And the beautiful thing is that if you know what to do and how to do it, you can have a very long lucid dream where you can access inner creativity, work on emotional healing, work on promoting your physical health. You can access inner awareness and just truly blow your mind. So lucid dreaming is a beautiful, beautiful thing once you learn how to do it and how to go about it.
And thanks for sharing that so much. Robert, would you also share with us today one of the biggest fears that you've had to face?
Right. So, I had been in business for 27 years when I decided that I just had to write a book on lucid dreaming to explain the greater potential of lucid dreaming. And so first I had to kind of overcome this fear of making a total change in my life, leaving my job, getting into writing, which is something that I hadn't done really since college. But the deepest fear was, could I really convey the beauty, the depth, the potential of lucid dreaming? And so that was my fear, that no one would get it, I'm sorry, but that was my fear, that no one would get it, that I couldn't convey the depth of it and and really get that across. And so I realized that to resolve that fear, I had to look at my intent in wanting to write a book. And so I kept looking deeper and deeper. I wasn't doing it for fame and fortune, and I wasn't doing it for, just those kind of simple things. And when I got down to it, and it literally was a 3-month process, but when I finally got down to my intent, I realized that my intent, that this was my song of love for life, for lucid dreaming. And this is what I wanted to leave the universe when I was gone. This book would be my song of love, to explain lucid dreaming, to explain its depth. And once I understood that, once I understand what my real intent in writing was, then I could overcome all the fears during the writing process. All the fears that I wouldn't be understood, or one of my neighbors might read the book and make a joke about it or whatever. Once I understood that this was my song of love, I just could push past everything, and it was completely and utterly liberating once I got down to my true, pure intent.
So, is this a technique that you would say that you use whenever you approach any sort of fear? Or was it just specifically for that?
Well, this was definitely a big fear, and so looking at the intent and understanding why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? As soon as I understood why I was doing it, then I had what I needed to face the fear. And so I would say that anyone who's facing a big challenge in their life, or planning to make a big change in their life, like I was, moving from a business career to now going over to being a full-time writer and author and presenter, that it will help you immensely if you look at what your intent is. Because when you understand your intent, then you know the reasons why you're doing what you're doing. And with that kind of energy behind you, you can push through the fears and resolve them, and take care of that kind of thing.
You must have come across quite a bit of useful resources that have helped you on your journey. Would you mind sharing some of those with us today so that we might implement those into our own lives?
Well, one of the beautiful things that's truly helped me is lucid dreaming. And so when you begin to just pay attention to your regular dreams, I think that's integrating the unconscious mind or the subconscious mind with your conscious mind. And just the practice of paying attention to regular dreams will start to make you a more whole, more integrated person. But what lucid dreaming, because you become consciously aware within the dream, and then you can decide what you want to do and the various options and everything, it showed me how to respond to fear, and how to respond to what Carl Jung called the shadow, or the denied, ignored, repressed parts of yourself. And so, just for an example, um, one time I became consciously aware in a dream when I saw a black Rottweiler just growling at me with its teeth bared. And I realized, oh, this is a dream. And as I sat there looking at this very fearful object, this angry Rottweiler, knowing it as a dream, I decided the best way to respond was with love and compassion, because I realized this must be some projection from me, some expression of me. And so I began to send love and compassion to that angry Rottweiler. And in the way of dreams, suddenly it shrank down to the size of a little dachshund. And I picked it up and went flying around. And so you realize, because of lucidity, that when you face something aggressive or angry or fearful, if you can lucidly think of all the possible responses that you could possibly give, and then reply with the one that seems most appropriate, and in this case it was love, compassion, and understanding, then suddenly you'll see things change. And you can take these ideas from lucid dreaming and bring them into your waking life, and that's what we call living lucidly.
Are you ready for the speed run?
Yeah, I think so.
What individual that's either fiction or real has made the most impact on your life?
I was so fortunate back in the 70s to come across the book by Jane Roberts, who was the author of the Seth books. And these books just completely opened my mind to a new way of looking at the world. So I'd have to say Jane Roberts really made the most impact on my life.
And if you could instantly change one thing in this world, what would you change?
If I could do that, if I could wave my magic wand, it would be to make lucid dreaming 10 times easier so everyone could easily access this fascinating state of lucid dreams.
What's your biggest weakness?
My biggest weakness is letting things go, just taking everything so easy that I'll just let it all flow downstream. And so sometimes that's a beautiful thing, but sometimes there's the shadow side to it, and it's not the best thing.
What's your biggest strength?
My biggest strength is observing things, paying attention. Because when you start to pay attention to waking life, to your thoughts, your emotions, your expectations, your beliefs, and then you start to pay attention to your dreaming life, to the events that happen there, then you begin to become more truly your whole self and your full self.
If you could only have one book to read, what book would that be?
Oh, man. If I could only have one book, I think I would take Jane Roberts' book, The Individual and the Nature of Mass Events. That was a wonderful book.
Do you have a favorite sound?
I do have a favorite sound, and this occurred in a lucid dream when I asked to experience or hear my feeling tone, and suddenly from high above me, a little dot appeared, and from it came a very pure ah sound, like ah. And boy, I was just blown away in this lucid dream when this ah sound basically vibrated me out of existence. It was my own personal feeling tone.
And if someone would like to connect with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
They can go to my book website, which is lucidadvice.com. That's lucidadvice.com. And there you can ask me questions, contact me, read reviews about my books and articles and all, and learn more about lucid dreaming.
What parting advice would you like to leave with us today?
The important thing, I think, is pay attention, be more mindful, observe your thoughts, your feelings. When you notice that you're trying to avoid something, when you notice that you feel discomfort, when you notice that you're actively ignoring something, possibly because of fear, I just want you to stop and think, what is happening here? Try to become aware of your thoughts and feelings, the beliefs, and about the reasons that are behind the avoidance, the discomfort, the ignoring, the denying.
Well, I appreciate you sharing that, Robert. And I also want to let everyone know, too, that Robert has generously donated a copy of his book, Lucid Dreaming. So if you would like an opportunity to win that book, visit the giveaways page at livingbeyondyourfears.com to submit your entry form today. And Robert, I really want to thank you so much for coming on the show today and being so generous with your time and just sharing with us your story.
Oh, thanks, Billy. It's wonderful that you're having people look at fear, because when we look at our fears, we have half a chance of resolving them. And so my best wishes to you and everyone who's listening.
Thank you for joining me today. And remember, you cannot achieve everything, but you do have the God-given ability to achieve anything. So stay focused, out of fear, and keep on keeping on. Until next time, be well and peaceful. For more information on today's episode and guest, or for resources that will assist you in overcoming your fears, visit livingbeyondyourfears.com. And don't forget to subscribe to this podcast, where 3 times a week we move to a life beyond our fears.